Hello and welcome to another edition of News from the Block. My name is Mark Thompson, your host. I am the director of the Adopt the Block Outreach Center, and I have to say I am so excited. I know this show isn't about us, but I have to tell you, our Adopt the Block Outreach Center, 818 Benny Street, is just a few weeks from completion. So we're all excited about what's this going to do for the community, the different types of resources that we're going to have. So I encourage you to drive past 818 Benny Street and you'll see our big, almost 5,000 square foot client choice food pantry. It's going to be awesome. But I tell you what, that's not about us today. Today I have a special guest in the PAC 14 studios, someone I've known for years, and I think this message everyone needs to hear. So please welcome Miss Lisa Campbell. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how are you doing, Lisa?
Pretty good. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Wow, it's like I've known you for years.
It has been years.
I tell you what, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you, what have you done in Wicomico County? Because we worked together before in the past.
Right, we have. So I changed careers from a sales career to human services, to where my heart, my passion was, because at home I had a whole desk full of resources and people would call me to find out different things. So I started working at Wicomico County Detention Center about 2009 or 8, I can't remember, with Dr. Matlack. Remember that? Yes.
I remember that, Dr. Matlack.
Yes. So then she sent my coworker and I to a parenting training to go learn how to teach parenting classes in the jail. And we thought, oh no, what is this, a whole weekend? And we fell in love with the active parenting program, where we worked with Michaela with the local management board. And then Michaela moved on and I was volunteering and fell right into this position with the LMB and as the parenting coordinator. And did that for many years. The director for the LMB for a couple years, and so that's we just always cross paths.
Well, you know, we both have the same passion for our community and working with those. I do remember the active parenting because I think I started teaching strengthening families. But do you still see active parenting is still needed in this community?
Very much so. The problem is getting funding to do that, just like with a lot of things.
Yeah, that's always the issue. I always see when people always ask, what can we do? Well, funding is what's needed out there. But now that leads you to what we're here to discuss today, and I get this wrong. It's the Resource Recovery Center?
Recovery Resource Center.
Recovery Resource Center.
Yes.
And I think it was formerly the Salisbury Substance Abuse Center.
Community Center.
Community Center.
Yes.
So I think that's what most people were familiar with. So why was the name changed?
So actually, we've had several names over the years. First, it was the 12-Step Club, then the Johnny O Center, then the SSACC SAC Center, Salisbury Substance Abuse Community Center, mouthful, right? And then we changed to the Recovery Resource Center. More encompasses what we do, but there was also a little confusion, with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce too. So SACC.
That's
yes.
right. Okay, I see
But
that.
again, RRC, Recovery Resource Center, encompasses what we do because we really are the hub of recovery for the Lower Eastern Shore, especially in Wicomico and Somerset counties.
Now, so I see the Recovery Resource Center. That makes sense. So again, this is a program for drug addiction, or what is it for?
So we hold a space. It's a space for 12-step meetings to come, to have sober social activities for people who either are just getting clean and sober or have been for a long time and want to help support, teach people that you can have fun without drugs and alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is right. So the Recovery Resource Center, I think it's located over there by Goodwill?
Right, behind Goodwill. The address is 726 South Salisbury Boulevard. However, we're not facing Route 13. We're facing the old 7-Eleven, which on Waverly Drive.
Okay.
So the corner of Waverly and Hazel Avenue.
Has it always been there?
No. It's been several places. So we opened up first in 1991 in the building directly across from the hospital where Exxon is, and moved a couple of times. So moved next to Acme and then in front of the building, and same landlords have been great and support what we do.
Wow. You know, I was going through your website, and again, your website, and we'll post this on our website. Again, this is News from the Block. My name is Mark Thompson, and today we have a special guest, Lisa Campbell from the Recovery Resource Center. What is that website? There's a website.
Yes, it's rrcsby.org.
Okay, and that has a lot of great information. I was going through that. Why don't you explain, when we talks about if someone feels a need for this services, what's the process of joining up with you?
So this is a free offering that we have. We have space that we rent out basically for 12-step groups to come in. And then on top of that, we offer the sober social activities. So the 12-step groups that meet there mainly are Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. But we also have Gamblers Anonymous and a couple other Al-Anon family. Nar-Anon, I can tell you more about those too.
So Al-Anon, what is that one?
Al-Anon is for friends and family who have a close one that they're affected by someone who has an alcohol problem.
You said there's meetings not just at the Waverly location, but where else are there AA meetings?
So they host meetings in several locations, wherever they can rent. A lot of times it'll be a church hall or a church basement, but most of the meetings are at the Recovery Resource Center. Meetings for different 12 steps can be found on their website. You can look up aa.org, na.org, Narcotics Anonymous, GA, Gamblers Anonymous, SAOA, and all of them have their websites. Last year we had over almost 36,000 people come through our doors.
Locally?
Locally.
Wow.
Yes, we can have in one week's time, we can have 1,400 people or more come in for meetings.
So if somebody wants to host the AA meetings, how do they go about that?
Well, if they want to host it at the Recovery Resource Center, they can just fill out a paper and tell me put on there what they wanted to do and when it is. We have meeting space available. So anybody who wants to, we can do that and work that out for sure and help support them.
So once we get our building, 818 Bennett Street, open, if you want to use that room or use a room, do I contact you and say you can come in? And would you provide the person who oversees that meeting?
So I can share any information with anybody about where meetings are available. Yes, because again, meeting people where they are, and your location is a perfect spot. I love that neighborhood. I lived in that neighborhood a few times growing up, so I know that that's a great place. Somebody wants to have, we will definitely share that information.
Can you explain quickly about what's a meeting like when a person comes into one of these AA meetings?
That's a good question, because that is a fear. A lot of times people don't know what to expect. So when you come in, you can either talk to somebody or not. You don't have to say your name. You don't have to introduce yourself to a single person. You can come in and just listen, or you can come in and look for a friendly face and introduce yourself or sit near them. But we will have coffee for you, and you can just come in and listen to the message of recovery, which will provide hope.
So, that's really important, because I wasn't sure. I've seen it on TV, but I'm not sure if that was, so you can just come right in. They're not going to make you stand and tell who you are.
No, never would anybody do that in the 12-step meetings. Now, the 12-step meetings are separate from the Recovery Resource Center, just to be clear, but also because my own experience with 12-step meetings, I can share that. Nobody is going to make you go in and share anything that you don't want to share and you're not comfortable. People are to go into 12-step meetings and feel comfortable. And the people who do share, just share in a general way.
Okay, so that's always something to really come out to say I have an issue. What do you think it takes someone to really say, I need help? Have you seen stories about what does it take someone to hit that wall? What is it?
Everybody's story is different.
Is it?
Somebody's bottom could be that they're on the brink of losing a marriage. They are scared, really scared they're going to lose, their job. Then there could be someone whose bottom is they're homeless and out on the street. So everybody's bottom is different. It just depends. Everybody's internal compass is different, and you never know when somebody is actually going to take that help.
Yeah. No, you mentioned people that are homeless, and we always think, well, homeless people have drug problems and alcohol problems. What do you see your biggest clientele? Is it the person who's working a 9 to 5 or the one that's on the street?
It varies. I mean, the people who come into the RRC range from the majority, 27 to 64-year-olds. That's the majority. So it's a huge range. We have some younger, we have some older, but they come from all walks of life. 50% of them come in unemployed, and so 50% of them are employed and have been for a long time with families in place. But 90-some% of them, after a year of coming or close to a year of coming, say that their family life and their relationships with their families greatly increase. So you never know if somebody is going to come in and they're going to, where they're coming from and what they have at home. Do they have something at home? Are they living in their car? Are they living in a bush? We don't know.
So for a person, and I know someone that's going through, do we make referrals to you, or how does that work?
So one of the great things about the Recovery Resource Center is that anybody is welcome to come in there. So anybody can come in at any time, and we do have trained peer recovery specialists that can talk to people and give information if they come in. And we can direct them to where a meeting is, whether it's at the Recovery Resource Center, if it's someplace else, we can help them find something online, whatever they're comfortable with. But we also partner with the Wacomico County Health Department. So we house their safe station there in the RRC. So the safe station is a safe place for someone to come and get help to go to treatment, alcohol and drug treatment, with inpatient or outpatient, find sober living, whatever it is that they need.
Now, let me ask you, because I understand, and through my time at the school and with the Salvation Army, inpatient, outpatient recovery center, I think the Hudson Center, is it easy to get into these places?
There are a lot of places now.
Really?
There are. Yes. We have, some great friends that work in the safe station that have great relationships with folks who work at these different rehabs. And so they go anywhere. They send them anywhere if it's local, or it could be, in Southern Maryland, St. Mary's County, up to near King of Prussia in PA. Even, across the states too, different places. It depends.
So does that depend on the bed availability, or somebody wants to just leave this area? Because I imagine you'll be embarrassed if you have a problem. You don't want to be in a treatment center locally. So how does that work when you want to go out of the county?
It depends on your insurance a lot of times too.
Okay, so it is insurance
out of state depends on that a lot, but it is insurance based mostly. We don't work directly with that as much, but I do know, having worked in the human services field in different areas too, and working close with the health department, that they work with whatever insurance you have. If you don't have insurance, and they can help you get insurance too. And that's what we do at the Recovery Resource Center. We connect people with those resources too, to get insurance if they need it, so they can get help, whether it's inpatient, outpatient. A lot of times people don't want to, like you said, they don't want that stigma of knowing that they have a problem with a substance or anything else. So they want to do outpatient. They need to continue with their job. They're scared of losing their job, so they do outpatient treatment. So they'll go someplace where they can do a Zoom outpatient or what have you, and we'll connect them with that so that they can continue to go to work, be with their family, and learn to live without whatever their addiction is.
Well, and I noticed that even there, and I hate to even bring up overeating.
Overeaters.
That's a
Yes.
addiction, overeating.
Overeaters Anonymous is one that we've housed for a long time. We're looking to start another one again. COVID happened. We stayed open, but a lot of people did not feel comfortable coming out. So thank goodness for Zoom. There's a lot of Zoom meetings, but we have people coming in and asking to start that again too.
Yeah,
Gamblers Anonymous as
Gamblers.
well.
And I see, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing, all these gambling platforms on TV for football, everything now.
Right.
So do you see that's increasing now in
Yes.
this area?
So we see people come in every week looking for help with gambling addiction. Sad story. Friday night, somebody came in, this lady, and she lost her job. She's lost her house. She's lost all her savings. She's lost everything. And the only reason she's not out on the street right now is because a friend has been kind enough to let her stay there with them. Because of gambling. She decided that staying at the slots was a lot more exciting than going to work last week.
Well, that brings me up to something else you talked about, and there's a housing shortage in this area. What do you do for people? I know your resource center. How you help find housing? You don't house people, do you?
No, we don't house people, but of course I love to connect people with resources.
Okay.
That's always been my passion, to share information with people. So I have a whole stack of local landlords and applications, but we also connect them. So I'll make copies and give to people. I have it out there. We have a lot of information in the center. You have to come in and take a look at that sometime. But we also can connect people to local recovery houses as well, too.
Do we have many of those recovery houses in the area?
Yes, thank goodness. That's always been an issue, having enough recovery houses. There's still never enough. But we have a lot more now. We have intensive treatment houses now.
So who works in who? So if I say I want to open my house to be a recovery, could I do that, or is you have the special qualifications for
Right. You have to have special qualifications. You have to have go through the state CARF accreditation and have someone with the license to be able to provide those services. The medical, whatever needs are for that too.
that? Okay, that's amazing. So everything, you're a one-stop shop. Is it 24 hours a day you can walk into the Waverly location?
Yes. So 24 hours a day. Again, partnering with the Safe Station, they need to be available in case somebody comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning and they say, I want to get help. I'm ready. And you have to be there when someone is ready. Like I said, you never know when that is going to be. So we have a security guy who, well, more than one, but we have security folks who are on staff 24 hours a day. And when someone comes to that door, they can connect you with someone from the COAT team who's on call. And they will come right in and start dialing up places that they know they can get you in.
Okay, and I've heard that term, COAT team.
COAT team, yes.
What is that?
That is the Community Outreach Addictions team. That's part of the health department. That's what's housed in the Safe Station at the RRC. So they have peer recovery specialists. They're trained, state certified recovery folks that they've walked that path. They've been there, whatever that looks like, and so they're in recovery from whatever their their addiction was, and so they can sit there and empathize. They know, not just sympathize, but they're able to empathize because they know where you've been, and when you reach out for help, you're desperate. So you need somebody who's going to be there, who's going to be compassionate and caring and understanding.
Wow. And again, this is News from the Block. I'm interviewing today, having a discussion with Lisa Campbell from the Recovery Resource Center here in Salisbury. How do they reach you? Do you have a phone number that we can put on our screen?
Yes. So it's 410-749-9482.
And again, is there someone staffing that 24/7?
24/7. Yep. So 410-749-9482. Anytime.
Okay. Now, you mentioned in the beginning of our conversation about the 12-step program. And off camera, we were talking about this. As a minister, I looked at it and said, this is Bible-based, or it's a religious program. And you mentioned it really isn't. Can you explain this to our audience?
Right. So it is a spiritual base. The 12 steps are based in spiritual base. Now, due to the traditions, which are like the guidelines for each 12-step program, I won't talk specifically about either one on camera. One-on-one, I will talk about whatever I know with anybody, but keeping with anonymity and with their traditions. I can tell you that neither one of the programs that I know of, except for Celebrate Recovery, are religious-based. They are all spiritual. They all talk about having a God of your understanding.
Okay.
So whatever that is, and being open to people, because a lot of times people who are down and out and have been trying to hide and run in a substance or in any type of addiction, they're not thinking about a God. They feel like maybe even if there is a God, that God is not for them or doesn't love them or what have you. So we need to be open to allowing people to be right where they are. That's how you reach people. You allow them to be right where they are and be open to their journey, whatever that looks like, and just encourage them to think, well, what if there is some type of higher power that does care about your well-being, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, if you're Baptist, Muslim, whatever, Recovery Resource Center is for you if you have an issue.
Right,
I understand
exactly.
that. So let's just get to the bottom line. Where do you get your funding? How do you, it looks like you're not, people aren't paying for this directly.
Right.
So how do you receive your funding for all this wonderful work?
Well, thank goodness for the support of United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore and partnerships with places like the Community Foundation. But most of our money comes from private and public donors. We have to fundraise. We have a fundraiser kickoff coming up. So our campaign runs now from April through October. April being Alcohol Awareness Month, and then September being Recovery Month, Addiction Recovery Month. So that's where we start. We have a luncheon to set up for April coming up, where we will educate businesses and the impact that addictions have on their bottom line. I mean, a company that has 500 employees can lose over a period of 5 years about $3 million. They can shell out. You think about, all the money, how the income, everything, the cost of living has increased, everything has. So, we want to share that information with the local businesses and help them understand what we can do and where we are to help support them, so that they don't have to spend too much money on employees.
Okay. Well, as we come wrap up this edition of News from the Block, again, we're here with Lisa Campbell from the Resource Recovery Center. What would you like to say in closing about your place?
Well, the Recovery Resource Center is a life-saving place and near and dear to my heart for many years. And anybody that is seeking recovery or even is thinking about seeking recovery or knows someone that they think should seek recovery, call us, come by and see us. We would love to be able to help. Most people have been touched by somebody who has an addiction problem, whether they are in recovery, whether they have passed. The rising number of overdoses is, we had lost 7 in 1 week a couple weeks ago from overdoses. So we are there to support each other. We have also now inside, we have Coastal Hospice, grief care workers that are in there to support those that have lost someone as well.
Wow, so you have a complete wraparound services that you're doing there.
Right.
And again, if they want to reach you, won't you give us your email or website and phone number again?
All right, so my email is lisa@rrcsby.org. The phone number is 410-749-9482. And our website is www.rrcsby.org. Right.
rcsby.org. And this is one of the places in our community that people need. Don't feel that stigma if you're facing issues at home with drug, alcohol, gambling. Don't do this alone. We have a place, and Lisa Campbell is heading this, and I believe in your mission and in you and what you do. We really appreciate all that you do. Thank you for coming here on News from the Block. Again, my name is Mark Thompson, the director of the Adopt the Block Outreach Center, and also host for News from the Block. But as I close, I have to say this because my heart is still heavy from the loss of my friend, Greg Bassett. Greg was an outstanding editor of the Salisbury Independent. He was also the host of One on One. We interviewed many times and talked many times in this Pac 14 studios. So again, I just want to send out my prayers to his family and friends, and just say, Greg, we miss you, my brother. Thank you for all that you did, and I'm going to try to do what you do, and that is ask the right questions at the right time and make people feel comfortable here at the Pac 14 studios. So again, Mark Thompson from the Adopt the Block Outreach Center saying goodbye until next time.